So you need to slow down, right? That's what we're going to dive into today. All right. So the human mind can juggle an amazing amount of information, but there's a limit. And a lot of us don't like limits, right? We don't like being told what to do, even if it's our own bodies telling us to stop. But let's talk about what that means. What it means is that we're constantly on the go. We have these long, never-ending to-do lists, and that's problematic, right? But I love to look at why it's problematic. I like to look at, why we do the things that we do. And in this case, that drive to constantly do something is very much attached to like our need for success, our need for achievement, or the belief that if I'm not doing something, I'm missing out, right? Or if I'm not being productive, I'm being lazy. Those are some of the beliefs that kind of drive this need to constantly do, go, achieve. But this combination can easily lead to overwhelm or burnout in some cases. And that's the topic of this evening's tea. Yes, honey, we're back. So my name is Amanda Fludd, your therapist and mindset coach. If you know someone that needs to check their hustle mentality or perfectionist tendencies, hit the like button and make sure to share this episode of the evening tea: transformation, empowerment, and self-assessment. All right. So back to the topic at hand. So this belief that I always have to be working towards something, or a fear of missing out, or being perceived as lazy, or maybe even of failing, this worry of failing. Those are all the things that contribute to this hustle mentality or this like grind mentality, but it can really affect your mindset or how you think and kind of tip you into a lovely place called overwhelm. Where it's like, I can't do anything. I don't want to do anything. I'm really tired and I'm done, right? And sometimes that escalates to other areas like anxiety and depression and just a sense of like, I just can't do anymore. And it's all related to our beliefs of how much we need to do, which is often dictated by what we see and what we've kind of been raised with and, these kind of like complex parts, right? We won't get into all the parts, but we will talk. And when it comes to hard work, yes, you do have to work hard to get the things that you want out of life. But if your intentions aren't aligned with your values and it's driven by the expectations of someone else, you're in trouble. Right? If you don't have an off switch and you don't give yourself time to decompress, you're more prone to becoming stressed and overwhelmed and even burning out. And that's what I want you to look out for. Okay. So, I'm all for working hard, like I said, but I think we've got to kind of know our limits and accept them, not avoid them, not run from them, because it's really our body and our mind kind of tuning you in to let you know, like, all right, this is too much, girl, right? Or this is too much, dude. You're working hard, but you need a break. I think a lot of us are sort of like caught up in this hustle culture and achievement is glamorized. And like I said, I get it. I've fallen into the trap too of work hard, sleep less, study more, and like the endless to-do list. I get it. We want the payoff, and that means we push, right? We push hard even when we're struggling. But real talk, the rates of anxiety is outrageous. Perfectionism is on the rise, or folks are paralyzed by things like procrastination, imposter syndrome, doubt, all that stuff, and the sense that they're not good enough. And that just translates to us not getting things done. It's really this exhausting race. And I'd like to believe that, yes, it's possible to be successful without hustling yourself to the ground. You just can't show up as your best self if you're tired and over it, right? So if you want to really keep producing or keep being productive or being successful, there has to be some kind of pause in how you engage in life, okay? The constant go affects your creativity, your motivation, and your mindset, and really those are the things you need to do good work in the first place, right? But how do you know when you need to slow down? All right, I'm going to drop that or pose that as a question for you. How do you know that you need to slow down? I want you to put it in the comments for me. So you may be used to going, right? You may be used to working hard. You may be used to kind of hitting those milestones in life. And a lot of times it's like we achieve one thing, and before we can really enjoy it or embrace it, we're ready to get to the next thing, right? And that's also the sign of like, you're doing too much, and that can kind of tip you into that burnout place too, because you're constantly on the go. But again, your body, your mind lets you know. So I'm curious from you guys, how do you know when you need to slow down? I really want you to know what to look for. So you can kind of be intentional about dialing it back, or turning the switch all the way off. Right? So let's hit 3 signs to let you know that you're doing too much and need to slow down. And remember, please, like, hit the like if you're looking forward to hearing this, if you're loving what you're hearing, you just love learning. Anyway, I'm excited to talk to you, and it's great to see you guys showing up this way too. All right. And the more you know, the more you grow. All right. So 3 ways that you might need to put a pause and slow down. 1, you're always tired, or you can't get enough sleep. I'm kind of notorious for that, right? But sleep is required to kind of fill up your tank so that you can face the challenges of each day. And of course, we all are shortchanged sometimes for various reasons. But if it's happening for an extended period of time, it's really often a signal that something has to give, right? Take it down a notch if it's possible. For me and my work, whenever sleep is an issue, it's really a major sign that things are going wrong emotionally. It's usually like one of those key things we look for things around like anxiety and depression, like significant changes in your sleep. You're not getting it. It's hard for you to fall asleep, stay asleep, or you're not sleeping at all. So, girl, what is sleep, Suzette? Well, you better find it. If you don't find sleep, your mind will shut you down. And if you're shut down, you cannot do a thing. All right. So if you don't have sleep, here goes the next thing to look out for that says you need to pump the brakes. You have no time to eat, or you're so stressed out, you only want to stuff your face with potato chips and ice cream. I like pistachio and butter pecan in case you ever want to bring me some ice cream. But essentially, it just says that you're not creating time in your day, right? If you don't slow down long enough to nourish yourself, you'll find that eventually everything is going to come to a screeching halt, regardless of how much you want to keep going. The tricky part is actually making the time for self-care. Like, self-care is a big like buzzword. We're all excited about self-care. We talk about what we could do, but what are you really doing, right? If you don't have time to eat, then you're really not taking care of yourself. And if you don't have time for self-care, it's probably because you're prioritizing everyone else's needs above your own, and you got to pump the brakes. Take a look at you for a moment. All right, so we have sleep. We have looking out for if you're not eating at all and not taking that time to nourish yourself, drink some water, hydrate. The third thing to look out for that kind of lets you know you need to pump the brakes is you don't find the same joy in what you're doing. If you're doing something just to do it, going through the motions, and you no longer enjoy what it's bringing to your life, ask yourself if you still need to be doing it. If it's something that you were once passionate about, try and take a step back and wait for that passion to return. Okay, take a break from it, step away, do some other things. Some days I might want to write and create all day long, right? And other days I'm drained and I just want to nap. And rather than forcing myself to keep going and get annoyed with people, right? Or get mad at myself for still working despite how I feel, I just take the day off. Or if I can't take the day off, I'll schedule in like an extended break, right? And that'll be my way to kind of recharge. And I realize when I pause like that and I just go do some other stuff, like I'm really inspired in other ways, and it helps me to come back and do my work a whole lot better. So, look for that. Look for that moment, that thing that kind of tells you like, okay, this doesn't feel good anymore. I'm not so happy about what I'm doing anymore. And it may not be that I need to stop. Right? Sometimes when we're not happy about something, our immediate go-to is to just stop doing that thing, like cut it off, quit kind of stop. But to really make sure that this is not the thing that you were meant to do, I would say take a break from it first and kind of get caught up in some other things, pursue some other interests, and then see if you need to come back to that original task, job, activity, etc. All right, so I'm curious, guys, have you ever experienced any of these signs, right? Really the signs of overwhelm, burnout, and doing too much, where you're having trouble sleeping, you don't even have time to eat, and you sort of like lost the passion and joy in what you're doing. I say, yes, I got to work on my sleep. Yes, you do. All right, so let me know if you've kind of dabbled in this area. But some other quick things to kind of look out for to let you know that maybe you need to stop and you're doing too damn much is you're always multitasking, right? We also always trick ourselves into believing that we can do a lot more than we can. But if your mind is on one task or two tasks or three tasks while you're on 2 out of 3, something isn't fully getting your attention. Okay. Or really you're doing so much, but you're getting nothing done. All right. So that's another way to kind of get a sense of like, I'm doing too much and I need a break. I need to stop. Sometimes for some of us, it shows up like physically, like we're often sick. Right? So if you're somebody that you get a lot of like headaches, migraines, stomach aches, things like that, that's a sign to you too that you're doing too much, right? Because again, your body will let you know and it'll start to shut you down. Okay. Or another thing is you're starting to forget things, right? There's things on your to-do list that's falling off. There's appointments that you're supposed to keep, but you're not. That's another sign to you that, this ain't working and you got to pull it back. All right. So look out for those things. Now, 2 ways to kind of switch it up and counteract this process of overdoing, which again is in our response to our need for success or fear or missing out or even failure. Notice when you are inspired by the hustle. Okay. When you're scrolling through Instagram or Facebook or reading books about personal growth or listening to those podcasts, notice if you get excited about what other people are doing. Right. And it's not a bad thing to be inspired by other people and wanting to work hard to kind of like rise to the occasion, right, and do better too. But I want you to just be smart about it, right? Not everything you hear, you need to do, right? Or not everything you see is for you and for you to stress out and figure out how to execute and how to do. It's really important to do things with intention, not just because you think they should be on your to-do list. Okay. So really think about ways that you could find a better balance between action as well as self-care. All right. Another quick tip for you to kind of work on this level of like doing and overwhelm and doing too much and putting the pause on things. Check yourself when you think I need to do more, right? Especially my ambitious folks who are always trying to do something else. I know that well, but do you really need to do more, right? And think about, all right, where is that coming from? Where's that thought coming from? I'm all about breaking down those thoughts and tackling them, right? Is it that you're trying to prove something to someone else? I don't know. Think about it. Think about what you're thinking about, and realize that you don't need to do everything, right? You're already doing enough. All right. So if you can really train your mind to stop thinking you need to do more, you won't feel as overwhelmed. Okay. So this is about strengthening your mental muscle and helping you to draw those lines and see those limits and know that it's okay to just stop. Like give yourself permission to take a break sometimes. Okay. Because that really is okay. And it's going to keep you motivated and consistent and showing up to do the things that you want to do to really achieve your goals in a healthier way, in a more balanced way, in a way that doesn't steal your own joy. All right, so that's my time. I'm Amanda Fludd. It's really been a pleasure. I am your therapist and mindset coach. If you love this, again, hit heart. Make sure you share it with someone. For the full hustle mode to pause checklist to see if you're doing too much, make sure to connect through the evening tea reminder link. I'll drop that in the comments after this live. This month is actually pretty exciting. Each week we're going to go over a different topic. And with it, I'm going to do a guide to go along with it. So like today, we went over how to look out for like if you're doing too much, and you're going to get the checklist for that. And I don't want you to kind of miss it. So I think I'm going to do this like a 3-part series, right? So make sure you sign up so you get the corresponding material for it. Absolutely free. Next week, it's all about getting out of your head and like decluttering your mind. A lot of us, we really live in our head, and that's a problem. We need to find our way out of it. So make sure you tune in next Wednesday. I'm going to say 9:15-ish. So somewhere in that realm. So just hang out on Facebook. You'll get the notification. All right. And I will also send out a reminder to the folks on the list as well. So make sure you click that link and get your name on there. Otherwise, I'm going to leave you with a little bit of homework. I love homework. So you can let me know in the chat below. Do you have a hustle mentality, or find yourself overworking and overwhelmed? All right. Do you? And if you do, what needs to change so you can slow down? So in the chat, let me know what needs to change so you can slow down. All right. So glad that this was helpful for you. And always appreciate you tuning in. I'm going to make sure that I leave that link so that we stay connected. But I want to hear from you too, right? What needs to change so that you can slow down? Now I want you to think about it. I mean, I think these experiences about you learning, getting information, and putting it to work. And to put it to work, you actually got to do the work. All right. So I'm going to send you the checklist so you can do more work. But I also want you to take some time to reflect. So you can drop it in the comments when you have a chance, or otherwise, do the checklist. All right. You guys are awesome. Thanks for tuning in. Amanda Fludd.